UH had the opening, how should I put it? UH had the opening, and UH is closer to Kansas City. I mean, I still have my home in Kansas City.
Okay.
So I commute from I fly back to Kansas City every other week.
Okay. So
Even
you're
when I was
sort
in
of
Miami.
in a distance relationship with the family now a little bit.
Well, my daughter was growing up. My boy was already in college.
Uh-huh.
Actually, he graduated and landed a job in Florida, of all the places. Orlando, though, with Lockheed Martin.
Oh.
So then he got married, and he and his wife was in Orlando. That's when I moved back to.
Yeah. Well, that's not exactly right next door to Miami, though. I mean, it's
No,
in the
but
same
it's
state, but it's a ways out.
well, they are in middle Florida, I would say.
Yeah.
But it's like 4 hours driving,
Yes.
so it's a easy driving.
Yeah.
You know, divided 4-lane highway.
Yeah.
And
Well, you had
besides,
to go east of the turnpike and then south, is at least the way I did it one time.
well, let me put it this way. I was a daughter-in-law once, okay? I fully understand mother-in-law is not necessarily always welcome.
Depends on what mother-in-law brings as, his opinion and
well,
so on. But yes, the new,
you know,
they want to be grown up on their own
right.
to a point.
That's my point exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, new couples should be, to my opinion, should really be left alone
Yeah.
to let them explore their own relationship.
Mhm.
Okay, and shortly after that, I moved to UX position open.
Okay.
And
So
I
you came
applied.
here, that was about 2004, if I
Yes.
remember correctly.
Yes, and
you came here to the University of Houston.
yes,
Okay.
and I had the interview. I like the way how Professor Spencer Simons, his philosophy of work, and what he mentioned to me, how he would like to run the library.
Mhm.
And I also like the fact the salary is higher.
Mhm.
Okay.
No, that's never a problem. If that's the case, it's always good.
Yeah, actually, Miami's cost of living probably is higher than Houston
Oh, is it?
back then. Yeah.
Mhm.
And then I can cut the weekend traveling home, the home trip, more than now. I get direct flights only an hour and less than 2 hours. Back then it's at least 2 hours one way, and then have layover. And there's no direct flight.
Yeah, so you have to stop at one of the hubs,
Yeah.
Charlotte or even Atlanta or someplace.
I even flew as far as Chicago to change flight.
That's right. In this day and age, there are some interesting routings on the
I know.
airplanes.
I know. One time we had a huge snow in Charlotte,
Uh-huh.
and no airplane could go out or come in. So I was stranded in Charlotte airport for the whole night.
Oh, that's
I
got
know.
to be scary.
Well, it wasn't scary. I was fortunate to have a fellow passenger, a lady older than I. So we set up this buddy system right on the spot, you know. She and I took turns to sleep.
Good.
Okay.
You're still worried about, you getting booked out on a flight and they're going to all be overbooked and everything.
No, with all my frequent mileage accumulated, I'm on the A list.
You want to go on the top list. Oh, well,
Yeah.
that's very useful, I'm sure.
Oh,
Fly
coming
like
very
that.
handy.
Yes. Yeah. So now let's talk about your time here. It's been well over a decade, a bit, and you've done a lot. You've probably seen a lot of changes, and you've been part of them. You want to talk a little bit about your era here and some of the things you've done and accomplished?
Well, 10, 11 years is a long time.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a while.
So there are quite a few items I've done, and but I would say several things I feel comfortable about was that, number one, I was able to assist Professor Spencer to build up a different culture.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and we place emphasis on training our new reference librarian.
Mm-hmm.
And so not just specialized, like when I left KU, it was very popular to have somebody like instructional librarian, service librarian, electronic service librarian, and so on and so forth, faculty service librarian. But the way I see it, law school is not that big. Law librarians, we all need to share the responsibility somehow. This is my philosophy. And so we cross-train all our librarians. You cannot tell if somebody come in and asks about databases, you cannot say, I'm a faculty service librarian. Let me put you on hold, let me get the electronic service librarian. Exactly. I mean, you have to answer the question right on the spot.
Certainly.
Okay. We all need to have that knowledge because we use all sorts of material, all sorts of resources to assist our faculty's research, as give student instruction how to use material. Okay, so if I want to congratulate myself, I would say this is the first thing. I have it across cross-training everybody, so they know something, what they can do. And the next thing I want to mention is I work very, very hard to build the team spirit of the whole library. I was hired as the chief operation officer, so to speak, and the more accurate term is the general flunky of the library. Basically, go back to my parents' upbringing. If there's something need to be done, you go do it. Don't wait for somebody else to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, from dusting the shelf.
Obviously a very helpful person to have around here for Spencer.
Oh, thank you. That is up to him to decide.
Well,
okay. I do my
having
best.
walked in similar shoes for a long time and seeing the same kind of thing, I know what he'll decide.
Well, as a matter of fact, I'm very grateful to have a boss like Spencer, who not only allow people to do their best without feeling, you'll be suppress me or something.
Yeah.
He basically demand us to do our best.
Yeah.
And then you really...
It's wonderful in a director.
I know. I'm really grateful. Okay. I have some great directors before, but he especially, I won't say demanding, he especially encouraged to have the best result. Well, come to think about it, just like my mom. Don't tell him.
You mentioned she was a strict mother.
She was very strict.
Yeah.
She's a professionalist.
Yeah.
I probably have that rub off on me too.
Well, ask your daughter about that. See
Oh,
if she would say so.
She told me that I rule her with iron wrist. Well, I told her be happy that I did not rule you with iron boots. That's mother-daughter always have some give and take,
Oh, I suppose.
Oh, well,
I certainly do when the daughter is a teenager.
Well, yeah, you're right.
Part of growing up. Once you get through it, and then they become friends, often of sorts.
Well, I always think young people really need some room to feel their own way.
Well, I agree.
Yeah. I now appreciate my mother much better, than before. Hopefully one of these days my daughter will feel that way, and not before I pass away.
You live long enough, it'll happen.
I hope so.
You just have to figure out how to do that.
Yeah. But isn't that the parent-child relationship is very interesting.
Yeah.
Very
it's
rewarding.
It's permanent. It's one where you don't choose each other either. Usually. Well,
Yeah.
sometimes, but normally not.
Yeah, but she now is a frugal person, so whatever she feels. Anyway, go back to that. And so that is in terms of, the management style, the manager part. And I also want to point out that after filling out library statistics, you name it, ABA, ARL, and U.S. News, and
That's
what
right, you still have to keep them in the loop.
right, as well as the Texas Higher Education Coordination Board. They all have their own different rules and conversion,
Yeah, I'm sure.
different parts. It's not identical. So I finally developed template to keep statistics down to how many update we have done for loose leaf filing.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so if anybody asks about the library status, I immediately can pull out the number to show people.
Well, that's useful, because
I
as you
know.
say, these reporting organizations do want a lot of that information, and quite sometimes as frequently as every year.
Not only that, a lot of people don't realize how much work it takes to operate a library.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, especially the tech service area.
Yeah.
I am fortunate enough to have experience in both sides.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to let people know when it comes to budget cutting time, we have statistics to show what can be cut, what should not be cut.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's
the whole
helpful,
day.
because, budgets do sometimes shrink as well as
yes.
expand at other times. And,
Yes.
It's useful to be able to make the priority decisions, because the people coming here, they're used to walking in the library, everything's working right, they're taken care of well.
Exactly.
That you don't want to have change.
People take it for granted, but if it doesn't work, it would be
Oh, it'll change
disastrous.
then.
I know, but that's why, and I set that up, and also expand service.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in terms of faculty service, and not only that, we provide, shall I say, superb service for administration, and I can give you an example. I just count, since I arrived in 2004 till now, the library handled about 30 major projects, from side check, co-check for faculty's casebook publication, to research, for instance, a certain area, potential faculty for recruitment. Okay, to if we want, one time as the search committee of the law school asked me if we can come up with any information, have any information about assistant visiting assistant professor.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that by reference 4 or 5 different law schools that look at this system, and then come up with some recommendation, send them the characteristic. And I'm glad to say that the search committee adopt the proposal. Not proposal, but all the lay out the list of requirement, whatever they want to do. Okay.
Faculty recruitment is always one of the most critical parts, of course, of a law school, because you want to build a program that's going to work and meet the needs, and who you bring on board as faculty colleagues is critical to that.
Yes. So I actually utilize AALS, Law Teacher Directory, and look at the young and promising people, and go through that and research their publication and their record. Nowadays, almost all information you can find online somehow.
Well, that's right. That's how I operate, because I am 50 miles from the University of Washington Law Library, and sure, I can go up there, but if it's online, I get it a lot easier, and the directors of law teachers, all of them are hung online.
Yeah.
Among other, a lot of other stuff's on various databases.
Yeah, or even just on the internet.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was able to make recommendation, and then one time we even did, actually I even did the similar service for U of Houston's Faculty Senate. That was shortly after I arrived,
Mhm.
and studied 10 different universities, Faculty Senate structure, organization, and the relationship with the university,
Mhm.
and make a report. So I jokingly call those as my competitive intelligence project.
Mhm. Well, that was probably helpful to the campus community as a whole, because the University of Houston's a research university and of the highest caliber, and the faculty obviously have a major part of the role in governance, and the Senate would be the acting body probably to exercise a lot of that, right?
Well, I was so new, I did not ask, but I did not ask, like a librarian, you don't ask people how they use the information.
Yeah.
But actually, a law faculty was on the committee,
Uh-huh.
so she tempted me to conduct a search for her.
Yeah.
Okay, so other than that, and of course also, what else do I have? Empirical research.
Mhm.
Okay, including develop a big list, compare the review curriculum of the medical school and law school, those medical school and law school that shares the same parent institution.
Mhm.
Look at the curriculum, see what kind of if they have any mutual courses.
Mhm.
That's actually was just done this. Spencer Simons and I share those schools.
Now that's interesting, because you do not have a medical school, is that correct? I don't remember ever, I didn't have one when I was here, and I've never heard that.
No, we still
You
don't.
have an
Well, back then,
optometry school, I know, I've seen that.
yes,
That was around when I was here, but that's
Well,
not the same.
that's not the same. And we still don't have a medical school.
Mhm.
So that's all I can say for the time being.
Yeah.
But actually,
You
we have,
certainly must have a lot of medical school components over here at the nearby Texas Medical Center.
we actually have a joint program with Baylor Medical
Okay,
School.
all right.
That's one thing. And another thing is UH have a very strong health law program.
Okay,
Okay.
so they're nibbling around the edges of medical school, sort of.
Yeah, sort of. And so that request is from the dean.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So we did it on the short notice. Okay. I mean, I'll just give you one example about what we call empirical research,
Mhm.
which was get out a lot and
Well, it must be interesting, a little addition to your normal repertoire of duties from time to time to get a request like these.
well, a lot of this actually is scout work.
Uh-huh.
Okay, you go into Harvard Law Review, and for instance, just pull it out as an example. Look at the editorial board for how many years. Look at how many men, how many women.
Mm-hmm.
To come up with the gender list. Okay, and I mean something like this, you do analysis.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, because of that project, I discovered that high cut out all those front matter. It's very difficult to find if the front matter included the editorial boards at the masthead, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
You won't find it in the high books.
That's true.
You have to have the hard copy.
Well, Mon Yin, you've already kind of introduced what I'd like to talk about next, and that is you just mentioned some of the work you've done for the law school in the broad sense, and
Mm-hmm.
even the University Faculty Senate and the university in the broader sense. But you've been involved at least in a few areas in professional service in addition to that, outside of the institution. I mentioned early on, I worked together years ago on a
Yes.
program for the annual meeting of ALL. You've also been involved in the Southwestern Association of Law Libraries. You served as president of that group at one point. And maybe you've done a few other interesting things. Would you like to talk a little bit about that aspect of your professional activities?
I always find professional organization helpful. Before I become a full-fledged law librarian, I was active in the local chapter of our Special Libraries Association. Okay, but once I became a law librarian, it's concentrated law library organization.
Yeah.
And at KU, Kansas, we have an option either join MORE or join SWORE. Because most of the librarians are members of MORE, I think I've just, did differently. So I do more SWORE. And I have the opportunity to meet Richard Amlin and very nicely, Richard Amlin with St. Louis, very nicely with U of Oklahoma. They both are very, very active and very, I would say, very prominent librarians in the tank service field.
Yeah.
Okay, and I got
I'm
to
going to
meet.
talk with Marilyn early next week for this project.
Well, Marilyn and I still meet, the old friendship is still there. Okay, so, and I have a lot of respect for her, for her knowledge. Anyway, so, and start from SWORE, I was also start with SWORE, and I was on several committee. I'm very grateful to my old good friend, Sharon Blackburn. She was with Texas Tech. She was the one who encouraged me to compile annotated bibliography and to be active. And Arturo Torres, the current Texas Tech director, Arturo and I sat in the same committee, and he gave me opportunity to do work. Okay, so that's how I cut my organizational teeth. Okay, and SWORE, through SWORE, I met quite a few good friends. Like Beth Snyder, she retired long ago, and in Arizona, and Barbara Baintive. Well, we met each other in the 80s.
Yeah, well, she's sort of a neighbor.
Yeah.
Austin is sort of a neighbor of Houston, and that's true.
Well, Barbara actually back then was in Boulder, Colorado.
Yeah, I remember she was there
Yes.
for years.
Yes, she was, and so all these people give me a lot of encouragement, and I truly value I value the friendship very much. I mean, some of them become personal good friends. Some of them are forever professional friends and give me a lot of advice and help. And so I SWORE have a special position in my heart. Okay.
Well, I enjoyed my 3 years in it many years ago. I'm sure it's different now in some probably good ways, but it sounds like you do it as well, and enjoy the contacts.
So that's why recently, I think for last 2 years, I established an award, I would say scholarship, for SWORE, to encourage library school students or law students interested in law librarianship to attend meeting.
Good.
Okay. And I also established an award for UH law students in honor of my own mother, who was a wonderful teacher. I think she's much sweet teacher than the mother, but to honor her, to promote advanced legal research. Okay, that award is for the best student in advanced legal research.
Well, that's a wonderful tribute, I think, not only to your mother, but obviously to you as well.
To my own field, I believe in it.
I mean, that's what you do. It's your bread and butter work, somehow.
Yeah, and I believe in it. And like I said, my childhood hero is Sherlock Holmes.
Okay.
The analytical mind and sniff out new information. And I take it to heart to do it in law legal material.
Well, we're probably nearing the end of today's conversation, and there's two things that I usually include in these conversations. The first one, which we sort of passed over earlier, and I'll ask now, And then I'll ask you if there's anything more you want to add that we haven't talked about. You know, I often ask if you have any particular hobbies, special interests, passions that perhaps outside of work that you'd like to mention.
Well, these past several years, I practically work at least 12-hour day, so that leaves me very little time. But actually, don't feel sorry. I don't want anybody to feel sorry for me. Like I say, I'm very excited. I always get very excited whenever I found some new information. What can be better doing that combined with your work?
Well, I can't argue with that one bit.
Yeah, and I enjoy reading any information.
Well,
So
now reading is transferable in and out of the job, I'm sure.
I know. And one thing,
And I know you travel and maybe back and forth to Kansas City.
well, just on the airplane.
That you could broaden up at some point if you wanted to.
Well, I actually, as a family, we did go to Europe one time. Okay. But anyway, that's too personal now. I do enjoy one thing that may or may not be that personal. I enjoy cooking.
Cooking.
And enjoy food. I'm a foodie.
Well, I know that you have a way of monitoring. We're sitting this morning in Spencer's office, which is adjacent to yours. And from time to time, we've heard a door, sort of the hinges squeaking a tiny bit as somebody's gone into your office next door. And I know for a fact that I did pick up already in the conversation around here that you keep some candies in your office. And
Well,
people going through that door, this is your alert that someone is snitching candies. Sort of.
Well-
What you permit.
Well, let me put it this way. The staff have a standing order. I'm a night person, okay? I usually stay in the office until library close at 12 or 1 or 2 or 3, whenever the job is done.
Okay.
So from time to time, the library is open 24/7 to law students. From time to time, you see somebody out there, laboring away and get very discouraged, have that anxious look on the face. At that time, I always invite them to have few pieces of candy or biscotti. I keep a jar of that in my office, and they always
keep their
welcome to.
energy up.
Exactly. And anybody, the librarians, I have weekly meetings with my direct reports, 7 of them. Whenever they come, they're always welcome to hit the candy jar. Let me be very honest. I personally enjoy candy,
Well,
chocolate.
that's all right. That's another passion.
Yeah, but strategically, people would not come see me until they have problems. Okay, that's the nature of the job, okay? And people can get all worked up or upset, whatever, but the sight of candy can kind of smooth the nerve.
Well, I should have thought of that as an entree to get all my people to come in, but if I'd done that, I'd probably eaten it all. It wouldn't have done any good.
Well,
Quite the contrary.
I have the same problem, okay?
Yeah.
I have to be very careful with my intake, especially chocolate.
Yeah, well, that's pretty tasty.
Yeah.
Well, sort of on that, let me pose the next part of that question, which I
Yes,
already
sir.
introduced. Is there anything that we haven't talked about that you'd like to bring up before we close our today's conversation?
No, but the only thing I can say is I usually try to be the person who pick up the loose ends, and also, but I'm very grateful again. Have Spencer as my director. We about the similar age, and have some life experience, and share the same work ethics. So we always can work things out. Okay. I'm very grateful that he accept any sort of argument and think about it. So if people stand outside hearing that we set out something loud voice, it doesn't mean that we fight. It just means that we have fun arguing.
Well, it's sort of
Okay.
lawyerly trait, I think.
I don't
And you're
know.
both
I don't
in
know.
that category.
Yeah, we do enjoy arguing each other, you know. And that actually really allow us to iron out any wrinkles before we implement the project. Okay. And he and I both are hands-on person. So when I will let him talk to you more about the book replacement project, how we type the loose ends. Okay.
Good.
So, but I have to say this, it's a lot of fun working here. I'm not only grateful to my boss, but I'm grateful to my colleagues who make it happen.
Good.
Okay.
Well, on that note, let me thank you for being part of today's conversation, Mon Yin. And in thanking you, I'm thanking you not only on my own behalf, since I had the pleasure of coming here and talking with you, but also on behalf of Michelle Wu and Frank Hodak and Dick Spinelli, our colleagues with whom I'm working to develop this oral history of law librarianship for the Hainan Line Spinelli's Law Library Reference Shelf. Thank you.
Thank you very much. They are my friends. I don't know Frank directly, closely, but I do consider Dick a friend. He had been very kind to me.
Well, that's good.
Well, thank you, Pat, for giving me the opportunity.